Did last Saturday feel a bit like a junction point, given the way you played?
Um,
Oh, and perhaps that's not fair. Perhaps but given the outcome, perhaps maybe the better thing.
I thought we didn't start particularly well. I mentioned after the game that was probably a consequence of where we are at the moment in terms of the league positioning and a little bit fragile. But it was important that we responded to conceding an early goal, which we did. And I thought after that, of course, there's the two teams both trying to win a game. They're going to have spells in a game. I thought when Cambridge had their really good spell after half time, we managed it quite well and didn't really look like conceding. Changed a little bit how we played, and we went on to look really strong towards the end.
You've made the point at various other games during the season that you've made chances and not finished them. Do you now think you've got a group that can finish more of them more often?
I think we've got goal scorers on the pitch. You know, if you look at the two forwards and Dale Grubb, all three of them have always scored goals. So if you have goals on the pitch, you can always win any game. It's the other end of the pitch for me where we've struggled. And if you concede too many goals, you never give yourself a chance to win a game. And we conceded two last week, sloppy goals. We need to tighten that up. And if we do consistently be a little bit tighter at the back, then we can win games because of what we have at the front of the pitch.
To that end, Farender Orson, any chance of him being fit anytime soon?
Yeah, he should be back for Saturday. He's trained the last couple of days, so he's been non-contact at the start of the week, and then the build up to the game, he's been all right. He should be fine for Saturday.
And head injuries, you have to be careful in terms of the player's return, don't you?
Yeah, there's protocol that has to take place in terms of the testing. They have to be able to say the name backwards so many times, which I think Faz might struggle with anyway. But no, he's all right. He's all right.
It's not long since you played Carlisle, but you've got a very different squad now to when you played them just before Christmas.
Yeah, we have. We've got a little bit more strength about us, a little bit more presence. We were probably at our worst or our lowest around that time. You know, we were depleted in terms of numbers and physicality. So no, but I think Carlisle have overachieved. You know, we look at budget-wise, they won't have a big budget. Very difficult for them to attract players where they are geographically. So they've done really well. They got in the playoffs last year. We're very unlucky at Exeter, the last kick of the game, to lose the semi-final. So the manager there, Keith Curl's done a brilliant job, and they're still in touch with the playoffs, and they'll be looking at that. But I think we'll be a different proposition on Saturday.
Interesting. He's not done much business, and he said he's still looking to try and do some, but it says something perhaps about the fortune of your situation that you can because you have the resource to do it.
I don't think it's anything to do with resource. I think it's to do with the work we put in throughout November and December, targeting players that we knew we could get and trying to persuade them about the project and what we were trying to achieve here, to get them to commit to the football club. It was nothing to do with finance. Because the players that we've brought in have not come for that. It was about us getting out and doing and working hard to attract them to come here.
You have paid fees for some, though, I think, have you?
We have.
Which other clubs would not be able to do, necessarily?
Well, maybe not, but we've not paid big fees. We've paid fees that are well within our budget. So some clubs have paid really big fees at this level. But we're working well within our budget.
Is it a big week? Carlisle away, Exeter away, next two?
I get asked all the time, is it a big game? Every game's the same to me. It's 3 points. And we judge everyone on its merits. If I start hyping it up and we need to get a point here and a point there, it never happens like that. We have to focus on what's in front of us, and that's a real tough ask, a tough journey, a tough team to play against. So we have to focus and make sure we do everything we can to get a result.
Just lastly, on the window, are you done, do you think, in terms of business?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I still think there'll be another couple to come in. That could possibly be before the weekend, but we try and keep that in house, and we'll let everybody know once it's done.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, you brought in Pat Mountain this week. The club have brought in Pat Mountain as goalkeeping coach. How pleased were you to bring Pat in?
I think you can see from the chairman's statement why we've done that and where we want to go with it. So Steve Hale did a really good job for us, you know, and we really appreciate that. And we wish Steve all the best. He's a really good guy, but we just felt to get to the next level, we had to bring someone like Pat in, and he's shown in the few days that he's been here that he's going to be a valued addition to the staff.
Just going back to the Cambridge game last Saturday, do you see that as a pivotal turning point?
Only if we continue to get results. It means nothing if we lose a game or two. We have to continue now, and we have to show that we're a tough nut to crack. We have to be really sound defensively, but we also have to carry that goal threat, which I believe we've got every game.
Dale Grubbs really hit the ground running. I guess now is maybe a problem he's going to have is to maintain that level. And will he dip at times?
I think, of course, he will. We can't expect. Problem is when you have a home debut like that, people expect you to do that every week. I did say after the Swindon game where he looked at some points during the game promising. And I said after that game that the fitter he gets, he'll be able to get that extra yard or get away from people will enable him to score goals, which is what he's done on Saturday, and he's continued his training, working hard, and I think that will only improve. But of course, players that are flair players and score goals sometimes have off days, and it's important that we don't all jump up and down and ridicule him and lambast him when he does.
Yeah, some people have said he looks tired during games, but I understand Saturday he covered the most ground of all your players, so I guess that's one of the reasons.
I look back at somebody like Chris Waddle, who always looked tired from the first minute of a game. He's just got that persona about him, but speaking to Grubby, he always feels that late in games, if defenders are tired and he can get the ball into his feet in and around the area, he can create something. What he can do, he can take the ball in really tight areas and score something out of nothing, like he did with his second goal on Saturday.
Yeah, you had a development game in the week. Did you take many positives from that?
Only the younger players that played.
Right. Charlie Cooper didn't feature in that game. I know Charlie's suspension is over now. Is he likely to feature in the squad Saturday?
No.
Okay. All right. No. That's no. Okay. All right.
I've got to think about his long-term future and health. So no.
Okay. Cheers, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.